Welcome to Think Fit to Be Fit. I'm Tammy.
I'm Ericka.
And we're here today to talk about sugar because a lot of people have questions about sugar. Can I eat sugar? And what kind of sugar can I eat? Is honey okay? Or should I be eating something different?
Yeah, you hear in one world honey's the best thing for you, and then you hear in another world it's like, oh my gosh, it's so high glucose. It's high fructose, high glycemic index, sorry. And there's just so many different avenues you could go down. So we're going to break this down for you. We're going to start off with the intention of doing what's right for you, because that's really important. It's always going to be the balls in your court, but we are here to guide you and help you on your journey. So take what you can get from this.
Yeah, I like the fact that you mentioned that it's really about what's important for each individual. You have a different diet than I have, and we kind of have discussions on a regular basis, but never say that your diet's wrong or my diet's wrong. It's always about what works for you. Why does that work for you? Why are you eating this way? And, maybe pick up some tips from one another, sort of thing.
Exactly, we help each other out. And it's also about experimentation. The reason why we know all this stuff is because we tried everything. So, and it's all about healing. So it's your healing journey. Have fun with it. And again, explore, take what you could get from this and see what's going to happen next.
Yeah. So sugar, should you eat sugar? Should you not eat sugar? I think ultimately we want to refrain from eating a lot of sugar. There's a lot of bad things that happen in the body when we eat a lot of sugar. Inflammation, we get sugar cravings, you get big spikes in insulin levels, and then sugar spikes and then sugar drops, and that makes you want to eat more food. And then foods that tend to have a lot of sugar in them tend to have a lot of calories. And I think most of us are always trying to manage our weight, if anything. So it's all about trying to refrain from sugar for the most part, I think, especially added sugars, and have a more balanced diet.
But what does it mean by sugar? Okay, now you're going to hear about, oh, is fruit bad then for me? Or are you talking about cane sugar? Like, there's so many different worlds. Corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup. Okay, so these are all different level sugars. I'm all about the fruit, and it's because it's a whole food. It has its fiber intact. So it's going to be super slow burning, healing. It has a ton of nutrients, and that fiber is what keeps it from burning too fast. So you're getting the benefits of it giving you satiation, being full, but you're also getting the nutrients, the high vitamins, the antioxidants, and everything to give you that like extra pep in your step and to get your body moving and fueled to a higher energy. It's one of the highest vibrational foods there is. So why would you ever cut fruit out of your diet?
Yeah. Now I do have a little bit of a different opinion from Ericka. She eats an all fruit diet for the most part, and I have minimal fruit in my diet. And then I get most of my foods at this point in time come from more alkalized vegetables and a little bit of grains and a little bit of protein and just a little bit of fruit. So we do have some differences on the type of diet we eat. It doesn't mean that one's right or wrong. It just means what's right for you. So you'll have to figure that out. When it comes to sugar, I think one of the things to understand is that the type of sugar that you consume is either going to really spike your insulin levels and then cause sugar drops and then cause this cycle of craving more types of high sugar or high glycemic foods. And if you eat lower glycemic types of foods, lower sugar, insulin spike foods, then you're going to have less of those cravings. So let's maybe give the viewers some ideas of the differences of high glycemic and low glycemic foods.
Yeah, we'll start with the basic sugars first, and then refined foods like rice and stuff like that. Because high glycemic to low glycemic, you have that in all areas of the food spectrum, right?
Yeah.
So high fructose corn syrup.
Atomic
horrible.
bomb of sugar. It was introduced in the 70s, and prior to high fructose corn syrup entering into our society, we had some subtle changes in weight and obesity, but in the 70s, it literally spiked. And then we see the map of the CDC where it's like almost all red because there's so many people that are obese. And a lot of it has to do with these very refined high glycemic foods like high fructose corn syrup. So definitely not something that you want in your diets. I would stay away from that. And table sugar is another one that's going to be high glycemic. Maltodextrin is another one that's high glycemic.
I want to go back one more time with the corn thing. Think about what they feed the cows to plump them up as fast as possible. Usually they're corn fed, okay? Mm-hmm. That's a danger zone because they're getting them fat fast. And what's getting them fat? It's the corn.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to be gaining that extra weight and you're like wondering why you're not losing weight and you think you're eating healthy, you're like, oh, it's just sweet corn. Think about that twice, okay? I know it's a bummer because it tastes delicious. It was one of the hardest things for me to give up. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I love corn, but I do stay away from it now.
Just don't buy it. Don't put it in your house. It's trouble. Just hide it.
It's a tree, you know, for the people that can't give it up completely. It's a tree, you know, everybody likes their tacos. I like soft corn tacos, but not a lot of it, right?
Yeah, if you're taking a trip to Mexico, go eat your corn tortillas.
Exactly. So what are some of the foods that fall into the middle category, like the moderate to high to moderate to low tend to be?
I'm better with the fruit part of that.
Yeah, it's the tropical fruits that tend to be in that area. You're going to find some of your greens that fall in that area. Maybe sweet potatoes are in that area, but sweet potatoes are also probiotic. So
slow burning though.
Slow burning, yep, because there's a lot of fiber in there. Higher fiber foods are going to be lower on the glycemic index. Why? Because it takes a lot longer to break that food down. And when you're eating a whole food versus drinking like a juice, like an orange juice, you're going to have to break it down. You have to chew it. You have to metabolize it. It's going to slowly enter your bloodstream versus if you have a whole glass of juice, like there's probably 6 oranges in that glass and it's 300 some calories versus 1 orange, which is 80 calories. And one you're going to have to break down versus drinking a glass of juice you don't have to break down, and it's going to hit your bloodstream quickly, and so you're going to get more insulin spike because of that. So
if you're running or an athlete, sure, go drink that orange juice if you need some fuel really fast, but you're more likely to have that smooth, clean energy when you eat the whole food. Okay, when you're juicing, go for the greens. Okay, maybe if you want apple in there, you can throw some sweetness, but we recommend having more green juices and then go eat your fruit if you want.
Yes, absolutely. And then some low glycemic foods or fruits would be
apples, peaches, berries, pears, grapes. Those are all on the lower end. And then what else? Is brown rice?
I'm not sure on that one. That might be more in the middle, but I would say, take a look online and find out what foods are going to be in that high glycemic range, what foods are going to be in the low glycemic range. I think the most important thing here today is understanding that not all fruit sugars, not all sugars, not all grains even impact you the same way. So you'll want to understand how those impact you. And if you're looking for weight loss, if you're looking for sustained energy throughout the day, try to have more of those low glycemic foods, low glycemic sugars versus high, and stay away from any added sugars.
Yeah, you're going to feel so much better. You're going to notice the difference. I want to go back to one thing because I know something that on my journey I try to figure it out. I used to I was such a breakfast food girl always as a kid, wanted to wake up, eat breakfast, was starving all the time. Maple syrup, love it. And it's in the health scene everywhere, like how it's in maple water and whatnot, right? Mm-hmm. That's a high glycemic one. And so is honey. And honey is really healthy and has a lot of medicinal benefits too. But you need to be cautious. Like if you're having that and you realize you're more hypoglycemic, you're going to have those spikes and then those drops, right?
Yeah.
So
it's really about managing that sort of stuff and doing it minimally, like at a birthday party, on a rare occasion, try to minimize those high glycemic foods. So I think that our viewers probably want to know, well, I do want some sweetener, and so are there any that you recommend and why?
Yeah. So if you want to see from my point of view and what I would gear towards is I like to see the more raw, the whole food, the better. So date sugar, if you could actually make it yourself, go get medjool dates, blend them up with some coconut water and make your own paste and then slab it on. Like you could even make a date in tahini sandwich instead of a peanut butter and jelly, and you can make it more alkaline that way. So good. Okay. You could stir that into any drink you want instead of putting sweetener. You put the date sauce in, sweetens it up. Date sugar you can find at the store. It's a little more refined, obviously, because it's processed, but it's still really good and has a lot of nutrients. Mm-hmm. And then coconut sugar, raw, the brown one is the best. And then going up, you can maybe do raw cane sugar and keep going up, but it's going to start elevating a little bit more and becoming a little more acidic because the other ones are higher acidity. I started from the bottom, which is dates, which are super alkaline and really good for your body.
I'm a big fan of alkaline, and I love her date sauce that she makes. I actually put it on my sweet potatoes with some nuts, and with some sesame seeds, and a little bit of cinnamon. Oh, it is delightful. My favorite is stevia, but you got to be careful with stevia because if you're getting the packets, there's a lot of fillers in there. There's maltodextrin that's typically in there, and some silica that's typically in there. So make sure that you're reading and it says 100% stevia. And if you really want to go green and really want to make sure you're alkalizing and not getting anything that's processed, buy a stevia plant, clip off a few leaves, and you can throw that in a fruit salad. You can throw that in a smoothie. Stevia is 600 times sweeter than sugar, so you only need a pinch of the powder in a glass of tea. So keep that in mind when you are using it. If you're putting in a whole packet, there's probably some fillers in there.
Yeah. So, I mean, we could break it down. We could keep going further. But we want you to kind of experiment and see what's best for you and your body, and you'll know. Like, if you've never had a dip or a spike in sugar, I'm going to tell you, you'll know, because it kind of makes you feel shaky if you never had that before, right?
Yeah.
It makes you feel shaky. It's like you don't feel like hungry, but you get the shakes, like you're like, oh my God, I need something right now. And that's something that you need to look out for and also keep in check and go to your doctor and make sure.
Yeah.
Just
don't want to be in that state.
Yeah.
You want to keep your sugar levels even keel.
But you could do it all through diet. So that's all I'm going to say is, like, keep it in check. I think doctors are great. And to go and get your health checked on a regular basis is really good. If you have access to that and you have health insurance and you're able to do it. But you can do a lot of this through nature. And we're not going to tell you. We're not the doctors. But, yeah.
Prevention.
It's easy.
Well, I hope that you got something out of that. We're going to continue to throw these videos out there in the Think Fit to Be Fit series, touching upon different questions. Feel free to send us some questions, put some comments. We will respond to any additional questions that you have in the comments below this video. And don't forget to like our YouTube channel and follow us along with our social media sites, and those will also be pasted below.
Yeah. Also, we will link alkaline versus or high glycemic versus low glycemic chart below. So we are looking forward to hearing from you more, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Thank you.